Peace, family. My name is Vicki Dillard, and I'm so pleased to be a contributor here on African Diaspora News Channel. As you come in, please make sure that you come in, that you like, that you share, and that you subscribe to this network and to this amazing broadcast. Thank you so very much. Family, you know what time it is. Now is the time to set the record straight. The beauty of being a member of the Black grassroots media, not Black looking media, but the Black grassroots media, is that we're able to offer a perspective of truth that is not in line with just the normal narrative that members of the dominant society's media apparatus is putting out there. Don't forget, family, it's called broadcasting for a reason. It's an agrarian word, a word that has something to do with farming or the ground, farming and so forth, because broadcasting means to seed. If you're seeding something, that means that you're intentionally putting something out there in order to grow. Also, it's called broadcasting because, as some have said so eloquently, some consider what members of the dominant society doing, they consider that to be casting a spell. The question is, are you intelligent enough to know the difference? And so I'm saying all that to say that surely you heard about the alleged recent incident at the Capitol, D.C. And of course, they end up putting a black face to it by the young man's name is Noah Green. They tried to connect Minister Farrakhan to this young man by saying and inferring in the media that somehow this young man was radicalized by Minister Farrakhan to commit this act and to have a knife and to lunge at officers, and allegedly was responsible for the death of another officer while he was in his car. Those details, I don't believe, have been appropriately given to us as well. So we're still looking into those allegations as well. But the question is not about whether or not Noah Green did something wrong. It's about what we know for sure. America is guilty. America is known to lie and has been doing it since we've been here. So we could at least do Noah Green the favor of investigating to come to the truth as much as possible. Somebody talk black to me. We know in the case of Breonna Taylor, they lied to get the warrant to even enter her house. We found out that the police officer lied and said that the federal postal inspector said that suspicious packages was coming to her home. The federal postal inspector said that was a lie in the Breonna Taylor case. We found out that they tried to set up Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, and blame him for the incident when he was a registered or licensed gun owner. And because he felt someone was breaking into his home, we know he did because he called the police, not knowing it was the police that was beating on his door. He fired a warning shot. And remember, they flipped the script and tried to turn around and file charges against him so they could justify their illegal shooting. Remember, Breonna Taylor's ex-boyfriend said that the prosecutors tried to offer him a plea deal if he had implicated Breonna Taylor. Thank God he had some integrity. He didn't really have nothing to lose because Breonna was already unfortunately killed. So the ex-boyfriend could have said, forget, she's dead. Forget that. I'll get some time off by simply saying she was aware of it or whatever specific detail they wanted him to agree to. He refused. We see there was shady stuff going on with the George Floyd autopsy and with the examiner's office. We know that, of course, with these different cases, officers lie sometimes in their original reports and so forth and so on. This is the norm. I'm bringing those things up to say it's not out of the question that something was off in this particular situation and that we shouldn't just run with the official narrative that white media is giving. Now, listen. They tried to claim that somehow this was the nation's or Minister Farrakhan's fault. Well, the nation has finally responded with their official statement, and listen to what they said in part. I'm going to skip through here. They give condolences for the officer and the families and folks that were that died in this incident. But this is the main statement that you need to hear now. When the nation says they have no history, the Nation of Islam has no history of violence against the government. Federal, state, and local law enforcement are all well aware of our history. We have held 4 national marches, including the historic 1994 Million Man March, which we know to be one of the largest gatherings in the history of the United States of America and the most peaceful on the U.S. Capitol grounds. We had a good working relationship with the U.S. Capitol Police during each of these historic events. Notice mainstream media doesn't tell you that. By the way, the Million Man March the initial one in 1995, drew almost 2 million. And most of the folks that attended were non-Muslim. Many of them said they were Christians. What of that? Listen. It says, their official statement goes on to say, it is being reported that Noah Green was a follower of the Nation of Islam. This young man, Noah Green, we believe, may have attended our Savior's Day convention in Detroit, Michigan in February of 2020. In March of 2020, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we closed our mosques and began conducting meetings and classes remotely. A search of our records indicate Noah Green was not a registered member of the Nation of Islam. I'm going to say that again. A search of our records indicates Noah Green was not a registered member of the Nation of Islam. It appears that in late summer, August to September 2020, he started the process to begin his study to become a member, but he did not complete the process. They go on to say he did make a donation to the Savior's Day gift. Every year, the followers and supporters make a charitable donation to the Nation of Islam's Savior's Day gift charity. Every donor who makes a donation over $1,000 or more is issued a certificate of completion. The certificate does not establish that the donor is a member in good standing in the Nation of Islam. So remember, they were saying that he had this certificate. Now, I've been asking this question. Unless you're doing some kind of a challenge where you're trying to prove to someone that you donated to an organization to encourage them to donate as well, the average person does not give money to an organization, a goodwill organization, and then turn around and plaster the receipt or certificate online. Who does that? Somebody talk black to me. I need my intelligent black people to put their thinking caps on. I know thinking is difficult for some people. Thinking is new for some people. But watch this. They go on to say, Timothy McVeigh confessed that he was a Christian, but nobody blames the church for his misconduct. Somebody talk black to me. No one would blame Jesus or their pastor for unlawful and immoral behavior that is contrary to the teachings of Jesus. I'm skipping. Criminal behavior is absolute rebellion toward what God teaches through the mouth of his prophets. Family, this is so true. America, you enslaved us in the name of Jesus. Donald Trump said that he was a Christian. Y'all play too much. This never comes up for the white supremacist. That's why we know there's a motive and a scheme to set up black men, specifically in this case, the nation. We know that there is a greater motive. Even if he was a member of the nation, you all still couldn't get away with blaming Minister Farrakhan for that when their teachings are openly nonviolent. And that, as this letter, which I'm not going to read all of it because it's a couple of pages long, but they indicate and they make clear that's against, that they are forbidden even to carry weapons on their person or even in their homes, not so much as even a penknife. So even if he was a member, he would be in rebellion to the institutions and to the nation's teachings. So how would you even make that make sense when all these people run around here talking about they're Christian and nobody ever even brings up their religion? Talk black to me. This is another interesting point that mainstream media has not been bringing out. Now they put all this other stuff saying he put this on Facebook. He said that he sees the minister as his spiritual guide and stuff. He put that he gave $1,000 to the organization. He put a copy of that. They were making all of these inferences so that we could see a peaceful organization like the nation as some radical group. But watch this. Listen. They said, in addition, they said his family members released a statement. I'm going to read exactly what they said here. The family released a statement published in the Washington Post saying of Noah Green, he was not a terrorist by any means. He had been studying for his master's degree in business administration, but also suffered from depression and potential mental illness. It has also been reported in an article from CNN that he shared on social media. I have suffered multiple home break-ins, food poisoning, assaults, and unauthorized operations in the hospital, mind control. Why is it this information was accessible to members of the dominant society media outlets early on? But why did they show give selective alleged information that they said was on his social media. We don't even know whether or not that was coerced or not, or if there was some funny business going on with how that got up there. But nevertheless, why is it that the media did not initially highlight the fact that what was on his social media was the fact that he suffered multiple home break-ins, food poisoning, assaults, unauthorized operations in the hospital, and mind control? Keep listening. Because the response rather from the nation is quite long, I'm skipping to this important part. They go on to say that this young man had struggled in his early life, but overcame much as a student to graduate with a degree in finance. He had a wonderful, noble idea to help the Black and brown people through his knowledge of finance. I am sure, Minister Farrakhan states, had he been blessed to come through the crisis that he was going through, he would have been a star in the mission of the resurrection of our people. We need to know what happened to our brother. So our research is continuing into what happened to this young man, and we cannot rest until we find out what caused him to take a turn like this. We are saddened by the loss of this brother with great potential. With heavy hearts, we offer sympathy and condolences to his mother, father, family, and friends. How many Black folks would sit there and even say they're going to investigate to find out what happened to him? How many Black folks would say we also offer condolences for his family and loved ones? Vicki, are you saying that Noah was perfect? No, I'm saying America sure ain't. And how dare we not investigate because his brother can't speak for himself because they just so happen to have killed him. Now they take in white race soldier serial killers in without so much as a scratch alive. But this brother who they said had a knife, might as well said it was a butter knife, that they said lunged at the police. They murdered him. So isn't that something? We can't hear his side. Because had he lived, would he have told us? He suffered multiple break-ins, food poisoning, mind control, whatever he said was going on. We at least owe him an investigation. Somebody told Black to me. Family, make sure that you follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. That's VICKI, Vicki X Dillard. Follow me on Twitter at Dillard Vicki. And be sure to follow my fan page on Facebook at Vicki Dillard. Also, beloved, make sure that you join my weekly mastermind at clubvicki.com. We still have that $1 special to join. clubvicki.com. Can't wait to see you there.